Hello, my dear friends. Today we are going to discuss about the detection of neutrinos from the sun's nuclear fusion cycle. So, in this video, we are going to discuss two important concepts: what are neutrinos and what are the major important properties of the neutrinos in the first part of the video, and in the second part, how the sun's nuclear fusion is responsible for the release of neutrinos. My name is Lakshmi. I am science and technology and anthropology expert. So, what are neutrinos? Neutrinos are tiny subatomic particles. They were first postulated to exist by Wolfgang Pauli in 1930. So, actually, by seeing the name itself, you can understand it is a neutrally charged subatomic particle which is having very tiny mass. And these neutrinos are also popularly called as the chameleon particles because their energy cannot be exactly predictable. So as they cannot be, their energy cannot be predictable, so they keep on changes their form of energy. So that is why these neutrinos are also popularly called as chameleon particles. To account for the energy that was apparently missing during the beta decay, a process in which energetic electrons are emitted from an atomic nucleus. So some sort of energy will be released by through the beta decay. So during the beta decay, so how the as the electrons are releasing, we can also see the release of certain subatomic particles like neutrinos. Frederick Reines was awarded Nobel Prize in Physics in 1995 for the detection of the neutrinos. So this is the first Nobel Prize for the detection of the neutrinos. So neutrinos are the tiny subatomic particles which doesn't have any mass. So what is exactly meant by beta decay? Beta decay occurs when in nucleus with too many protons and too many neutrons, or too many protons or too many neutrons. One of the protons or neutrons is transformed into the other. So that is a very important thing. So beta decay occurs when in a nucleus with too many neutrons or too many neutrons. So one of the protons or neutrons is transformed into the other. So if the protons may be transformed into the neutrons or the neutrons may be transformed into the protons. In beta minus decay, neutron decay into protons, an electron and an antineutrino. Whereas in the case of in beta plus decay, a proton decays into neutron. So that is how the beta decay can be broadly categorized into two, beta plus and beta minus. So during the beta decay of a nucleus, so as the nucleus is filled with excess amount of protons or excess amount of neutrons, during the beta decay of nucleus, a neutron is converted into a proton and an electron is produced. So in studying the electron's velocity, it was clear that this decay violated energy conversion and other laws. So 1 plus 1 should be 2. So it is less than 2, means some amount of energy has been missed. So it was thus postulated that some additional particle, a neutrino, was formed during the beta decay. Takaaki Kajita and MacArthur Donald have been jointly awarded Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery of neutrino oscillations, which shows that neutrinos have mass. So these two prominent scientists have been awarded Nobel Prize in 2015 for the identifying the mysterious behavior of these neutrinos. So actually there are two important sources for the neutrinos. They can be produced from the natural source as well as artificial source. Artificial sources like we can call as universal source, biological source or abiological sources. Biological sources like plants, animals. So even from every living organism also we can see the release of millions of neutrinos per hour. So your body is exposed to neutrinos and your body is releasing several amount of neutrinos. And second important concept is if you observe the banana is one of the strongest source for the release of neutrinos. Takaaki Kajita and MacArthur Donald jointly awarded Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery of neutrino oscillations, which shows that neutrinos have mass. So this is a great invention, particularly with reference to this neutrinos. The presence of a massless particles that could carry any function of the energy from the decay would explain why the spectrum of emitted electrons energies is continuous. So being the very small mass particles, they could carry any fraction of the energy. So we can say everything is transparent to these neutrinos. So on this earth, so they can travel through, not only on the earth, everything in this universe is transparent to this particular neutrinos. They can travel through the farthest distances because their loss of energy will be very much less because they can travel for the longest. So since Big Bang, several neutrinos are still traveling. So almost from 13.8 billion years, most of the neutrinos are traveling throughout the universe. A neutrino is a subatomic particle that is very similar to an electron but has no electrical charge and a very very small mass which might even be zero. Because they have very little interaction with matter, however they are incredibly difficult to detect, so that is a very important. So the interaction with the mass is very small. Because of their tiny interaction with the mass, they are incredibly difficult to detect. Nuclear forces treat electrons and neutrinos identically. Neither participate in the strong nuclear force, but both participate equally in the weak nuclear forces. So this is the first part of the video. Second, how these particular neutrinos are being produced. The sun is powered by fusion reactions that occur in its core. So in the intense heat of its highly pressurized environment, protons fuse together to form the helium. This occurs in two distinct cycles of the nuclear reactions. The first is called as proton-proton chain and dominates energy production in stars the size of our sun. The second is the CNO cycle, carbon nitrogen oxygen cycle, which accounts for roughly 1% of the solar power but dominates energy production in heavier stars. So we can see the energy formation in the stars can be of two types: PP chain, proton-proton chain, as well as CNO cycle. So through this CNO cycle, they have identified the neutrinos that has been produced from this particular sun. The first experiment to detect solar neutrinos was carried out using a detector in Homestake Mine, South Dakota of USA. This used the measurements of proton-proton chain solar neutrino to probe the standard solar model which describes nuclear fusion in the sun. How this nuclear fusion is happening, and that to identify the nuclear fusion reaction, this particular event had helped a lot. This result is a huge leap forward, offering the chance to resolve the mystery of the elemental composition of the sun's core. So, for example, if you can able to identify how the sun core is happening, so what is through which element it is made up of? Okay, so whether it is made up of metal or non-metallic components will be easily understood through this particular mysterious observation. In astrophysics, any element heavier than helium is termed as metal. The exact metal content of a star's core affects the rate of the CNO cycle. This in turn influences the temperature and density profile and thus the evolution of the star as well as the opacity of its outer layer. So how the sun, star and its outer layer are going to be formed. So as we discussed, these are the two important. First cycle will be the PP cycle, second one will be the CNO cycle. And how this CNO cycle is responsible for the production of these neutrinos has been identified. If you can able to identify this reason for the formation of the CNO cycle, then you can understand the evolution for the formation of the core can be expected. The metallurgy and opacity of the sun affect the speed of the sound waves propagating through its volume. So, for example, from the sun, huge amount of the sound waves can be produced. Those sound waves can be influenced by the opacity and metallurgy of the sun. For decades, helioseismological measurements were in agreement with SSM predictions for the speed of sound in the sun, giving confidence in that model. However, more recent spectroscopic measurements of solar opacity produced results that were significantly lower than previously thought, leading to discrepancies with helioseismological data. Okay, so the chief obstacles to make these measurements are the low energy and flux of CNO neutrinos and the difficulty of separating the neutrino signal from the sources of the background signals such as the radioactive decay process. So in this video we have discussed about three important components. Number one is what are neutrinos and how the neutrino mechanism is happening. What are the properties and who are the major inventors of the neutrinos. In the second video part we have discussed about how the sun is responsible for the release of neutrinos, and third we have discussed about the two layers for the two processes that are involved in the formation of these neutrinos. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Every alternate day we will come up with a science and technology updates. Thanks for watching.